So as you're coaching in jujitsu, and I know as a coach in CrossFit, right? So we would see triage, right? Always
Mhm,
work on the person that you see has the biggest issues, and kind of touch the people that are more experienced, just so they feel like they're noticed, right?
mhm,
In jujitsu, there could be times when the whole class is needs to be triaged.
mhm.
You know what I mean? How do you approach that?
Good question. So I think I actually try to lately, in the past, I would just try to address it. All right, guys, seems like everybody's messing up here, and I bring us back in and kind of do the thing. Now, I try to, and this is it's interesting when I make curriculum now, like for my day or I make my plan, I come at it through the ecological lens
Mm,
of like if I had to make this into game based, what would it look like?
right.
So, even yesterday, like I don't think I got to where I showed an entry, did I?
Into
Into
S
S
mount?
mount.
No,
I
no,
didn't
no,
show an
no.
entry, right?
Yeah.
Which is where the progression is going, right? So I kind of begin with the end in mind and then I back out of that. So it's just like when we teach to clean, what do we teach first? The thing that people are going to mess up the most, which is the jump and catch. So we go
Hmm.
there first and we go through each position. Now I do that in jujitsu to where I think like, we're going through armbar. We don't think we finished one armbar yesterday.
Yeah.
I just kind of set you guys in the position right before the finish. And then we worked on like control with the legs, control with the arms, different body movements based off of responses. Like that's kind of the lens that I went through. So in the past, I would do just kind of like a bulk triage of like what was the most gross fault inside of everybody making the mistake. Now, I just simply try to make my curriculum in a way to where when I come to the session that day, um, I'm set up in a way to maybe negate some of those major faults happening already versus like, okay, guys, like yesterday. So yesterday when I taught class, we went through arm bars essentially from the top position, right? We started in a seated position, perpendicular to our partner, arm between our legs. We worked on good connection through our legs, and then we worked on different reactions based off of what your opponent did against you, right? So that is a different lens versus like, okay, guys, today we're starting in mount. We're going to move to S mount into the arm bar. We've done 8 steps now, and we're finishing the arm bar. Now everybody screws everything up.
Yeah.
So it's just I've kind of negated all of that in my preparation, but that's due to looking at it through the lens of like, well, if I was going to teach this ecological, what would I do? I'd start him in the armbar and kind of back out of that, right? So that's kind of the approach that I've taken recently, and I've actually found with that because I've been doing that a lot. I'd say the past 3-4 months of me coaching, because prior to that, Sean was doing it. Um, I found that that's actually eliminated a lot of the correction that has to happen because I didn't have to go through 20 steps to get to the major faults. It's like I just started with the most simple 3 step or the most difficult 3 steps in the entire sequence, and I'm gonna back out of that. But before, so the last day of this whole sequence or this whole like cycle, we're gonna have a sequence all the way to all of our finishes. But how many times did you practice that armbar position yesterday? How many times did you practice the S mount switch? How many times did you practice the stacking position? Like it was just we're getting those reps in, and now when I get to the entry, it's like, oh, dude, I know how to finish. I've done this for 2 days already. Instead of doing, again, mount, transmission, S mount, here's one armbar. Mount, transition to S, you know what I mean? Like by the time like you get there, like there's just so many things that can go wrong. Again, it'd be equivalent to teaching the clean right from the shin, right off the jump versus starting from top down.
Yeah, and one I forgot who said it, but it was a ecological guy. Maybe it was Kit Dale, or someone else. I don't remember who it was, but they were talking about how they teach single legs, how they teach takedowns. They're like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw you in a single leg, and you're going to fight having a single leg. And then I don't need to worry about you getting into an entry because you're going to be so confident that you can finish the single leg that you're going to, once you get there, you're good. You're
Yeah.
like, you don't, because I feel like, um, to your point, I think it's great to do the submission as many times as possible without finishing it, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
that's going to cause a lot of wear and tear on
Totally.
people. But I think it builds the confidence that when people get there, they're not like, oh my God, I got an armbar. I need to grip and rip as
Mm-hmm.
fast as possible and finish it. Like it just makes a safer environment because we have the repetitions, we have the reps there. Like we're like, okay, I have an armbar. I remember now, like just hold on to it. I'm not worried about not knowing how to
Yeah.
finish it because I've done 2 weeks of finishing an armbar,